Ask Adam to go ahead and join me, and it's going to have him here. We've got 55 minutes. We've got a lot of information. So, Adam, this afternoon.
Hey, everyone. Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate everyone being on here. And sorry, Patrick was going to be joining us today, but not feeling too well, so I'm filling in for him. I hope that's okay with everyone.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Well, let's start off here. We always like to kind of a little bit about what's going on right now, some current events about the medical billing business. And I know some folks have been on some webinars, but Adam, why don't you first of all talk about our Twitter account, you do with the Twitter account, and then let's talk about this article that you posted here recently.
Sure, and also if anyone would post in the comment box, you are kind of cutting in and out as far as your internet connection, Eric, so I don't know if there's something we can do to fix that.
Okay.
And I don't know if I'm coming in loud and clear or not either. So everyone, if you're on the webinar, if one of us sounds weird or we both sound weird, please type that in and we'll try to get that corrected. Yeah, so the slides are a little bit delayed on my end. But yeah, this was an article that I ran across a few weeks back regarding the overall market, the overall valuation of the revenue cycle management market. And it is growing by leaps and bounds. If you can see, the highlight of that article there, it's basically going to jump, almost double by 2021. It's just amazing how much potential market there is for our licensees because of everything that's going on. It seems like every week there's some new, new thing that's going on in the industry as far as hoops that doctors have to jump through, and they're just realizing more and more and more. They're realizing they need someone outside of the office to help them with their revenue cycle management, and that's what the gist of that article is all about. So very good market to be in for our licensees.
Yeah, no doubt about it. What I did, I went ahead and switched to my headset here to make the call, and so hopefully we'll control that bandwidth there just a little bit better. Am I coming a little bit better there, Adam?
Yeah, it sounds a lot better. Yeah. Good job.
Perfect. Okay, great. And then you and I ran across this article. I know that we kind of keep up with this particular website here. It's Medical Economics. And folks, there's the website right down at the bottom. If you'd like to take that down, you too can follow the current events of what's going on in the medical field, especially with medical economics. Now, this one can be a little interesting of how this article is talking about EHRs, and EHRs is the Electronic Health Records Platform, and we're going to explain that to you here in just a moment. But it's interesting, Adam, that this article is actually talking about why there's a use of droppage in this, and for those that are getting into medical billing, they need to know why, because the biggest reason why is that the doctors find it too difficult and too expensive. I know that certainly everybody can kind of read this little bit here, and I'm going to flash over to this other screen here, but it's just basically saying that the big problem is that doctors just find it just too difficult to use some of these EHRs, and I know that you and I have talked with some of the licensees that have actually brought their doctors from that one old EHR to our EMRX and really finding a huge solution to that.
Yeah, for those of you who are not really, haven't been keeping your finger on the pulse of the industry, the government has basically tried to force doctors to stop using paper. That's what this is all about. Go from a paper system to a paperless system whenever they're dealing with their patients and everything, which is great in theory, but there's been a lot of issues with EHR systems, software systems that were not. They weren't built with the doctor's workflows in mind. They were built by engineers who have never, were never doctors and never dealt with patients. And so, in other words, you end up with doctors who kind of got forced into these systems that don't work very well. They make the doctors try to have to rethink how they want to work. Right. And that's the big deal with the system that we have. The EMRX system is what we call it. It's a part of our iClaim and EMRX billing and electronic medical records system. When doctors see a demo of our system and they start using it, they love it. They absolutely love it because there's many different ways to get information into the system. They're not locked into, just having to type or whatever. They can actually talk directly into the system using an iPad or a computer. They can type on a keyboard if they would rather do that, or they can touch on a tablet device. So they can do all three of those, and there it is right there. We've been ranked as one of the top 3 leading EHR softwares because it was developed by doctors, and they knew what needed to happen in order for doctors to want to keep using it.
And folks, again, like Adam said, you may not have your finger on the pulse of everything here, but hopefully you can see, even in these webinars, that what we're trying to do is give you information that will help you understand the industry. And the more that you attend some of these webinars, the better that you're going to kind of understand what we're talking about here. And it's been great to know, again, according to Medical Economics, that EMRX has been rated as one of the top 3 leading EHR softwares out there. And this was voted by physicians, not by anybody else, but by physicians. And if you haven't seen a demo of it, we'll be happy to show that to you as well. But Adam, I know we want to kind of get into the meat of what we're going to be talking about here, and we've kind of shown a little bit about that already, about how we're talking about being problem solvers and not necessarily being a salesperson here, because one of the big problems that doctors have right now is that they've got a very expensive, very difficult EHR system to work with. And as we kind of go through the webinar and the slides today, I think we're going to unveil a little bit more about how vital people will be to the doctors when they're out there.
Yeah, probably one of the top questions that I hear from people who are looking into this opportunity is, how am I going to convince a doctor to use me?
Right.
Who am I, and what do I have to offer? And we're going to explain that today. It's all about figuring out what their real needs are and what their real issues are before you even start talking about, well, I can do this and this and this and this. I can do it for this fee or whatever. We help you really dig deep and explore what they've got going on in their practice and ask them several key questions about different things regarding their practice, and it helps them kind of realize that there's a problem. Maybe if they don't even realize it up front, then they start to learn that they do have some issues that they need help with.
Right. Because I think when most people think about selling, they kind of think about themselves doing this. Hey, do you want to buy my product? Hey, do you want me to do your billing? Hey, do you want me to do this, that, and the other? And folks, if you go out there and you have that mindset already, this is not going to work for you, because it's not about selling. It's not about that at all. It really is about what we're going to help do to develop you to learn how to build relationships with doctors. Adam, I think probably the best thing that we can maybe start off right here is kind of setting the stage. This whole thing about medical billing, it's about getting doctors their money. And, we can't just walk up to any doctor and say, will you trust me with your money right off the bat? You want to explain that and what we kind of teach in our training class to how to build this relationship and this trust and all the skills that we're going to be talking about here?
Yeah, we have about a dozen different marketing methods that we're going to explain, several of those on the webinar today. But it's a matter of, and direct contact is one of those methods where we actually show you exactly how to present yourself so that you become an expert in the industry. And a lot of people on this webinar are thinking, how in the world am I going to be an expert with a very limited amount of training and experience? Well, there's a key thing there, key thing to note here. We teach you how to be the perceived expert in the industry, okay? So what I mean by that is when we do our 5-day live training class, when you get done with that 5-day class, you're going to know enough to speak intelligently about a couple of different big issues that doctors have in their practices. And honestly, we've had licensees tell us, you know what, I've gone out there and I've started talking with some people, and I realized that I actually know more than 80% of the office managers and doctors out there about running a practice. So I know that sounds crazy, but believe it or not, there are so many practices out there that are just kind of in shambles because doctors are not good business people typically. They don't know how to run a business. All they do is they want to practice medicine. So
That's right.
that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, and I know that you are a very big fan of Jeffrey Gitomer here, and I know you've actually brought this quote out once before, and I thought, man, that's a great quote. We're going to throw it into this webinar. But you know, he says here, if you approach with information about you, they consider you a salesman, but if you approach with ideas and answers, they're going to consider you a resource, and that is what Adam's talking about. We're going to give you the approach that you give the proper resources for their major problems. That the last thing we want to do is send you out there and knock on doors and saying, "Hey, do you want to use my services?" That'll get you a door in your face faster than anything, and we already know that. So, it's this next slide. And here's the thing: if we could all grasp this today, but how will a doctor trust you with their money? Adam, I think if everybody can get in their heads about, because I know a lot of people ask, well, what if the iClaim and the EMRX program doesn't work for them? It's not a matter that the program won't work for them. We've got to develop inside of our brand new licensees and those that are coming on board and open up their medical billing business, is to develop that trust level with the doctor to say, doctor, you can trust me with your money.
Yeah, and it's important to note, just for you, for those that don't understand how everything flows, you guys are actually not handling the doctor's money directly. They actually get paid directly from the insurance companies into their bank account. Right. And then the doctors pay you directly for your services. That's kind of how it goes. So what happens is some licensees, as a door opener, are actually going in and saying, hey, do you have a stack of rejected claims that you don't have time to mess with? And every single private practice out there has a stack of rejected claims that have come back from the insurance companies that they've tried to get paid on, and they don't know what's wrong with them, and they're just sitting there collecting dust. And a lot of licensees have been able to get business by saying, well, in order for you to gain my trust, let me do this. Don't give me any of your new medical bills or anything like that. Just let me take the claims that have been rejected, and I'll run them through my iClaim system. And because of the efficiencies of our iClaim system and how it basically kind of forces you to make it right before you send it to the insurance company, you're going to get a lot of those claims paid. And this is just found money for the doctors. Right. This is going to make them go, oh my gosh, I was just going to write all this stuff off, and now I've got this money that I wasn't even planning on getting. So that's a little tip there for building trust. We have several of those.
Absolutely, and it really comes down to the fact that your doctors will end up trusting you because what we do for you, American Business System, is going to teach you full revenue cycle management, and you're going to walk away from that live week of training being a certified medical revenue manager, which is what we kind of like to think of. It's a step above just being a medical biller, because you're really looking at all aspects. That's what all 9 services that you'll have at your disposal to be able to do for that particular doctor. I mean, there's where, as Adam said, you're going to have a perceived knowledge, a perceived skill knowledge about being out there as the subject matter expert. That's how we're positioning you out there right off the bat when people are coming right out of training.
Yeah, a lot of people in this webinar were probably thinking this is all just medical billing, right? No, it's not. Medical billing, helping the doctors with their insurance claims, that is a big part of it, but that's one service of the 9 different services that we have. So that's why, like Eric said, if you walk into a doctor's office and say, hey, I do medical billing, can I do your medical billing for you? They're going to say no. Whether they're doing it in-house or they're already outsourcing to someone else, that approach, they're immediately going to take your brochure or your business card and throw it in the trash. That is what the front office is taught to do. So we teach you a completely different approach, and a lot of it has to do with getting business outside of direct contact, just walking in cold to offices through networking and different things like that. So you want to talk about our training? It starts with the training.
Yeah, absolutely. It starts every 6 weeks, like we already said. We start off with Monday morning, 8 a.m. We get this thing kicked off, and within the hour, you're hands-on right inside of knowing how to actually do it. We've had these classes. Gosh, Adam, we've been doing this for, it seems like forever now. But I think the great aspect of having the computers there, first of all, to kind of take the fear away a little bit of what it means to actually do the billing side of everything. Once you've got that underneath your belt, then through the rest of the week with what happens here, you're literally going to go through these training exercises. Now, what you're seeing here is basically how to take, and Adam and I are going to talk to you about this a little bit later, but how to do what's called a practice analysis, run the numbers on that, and then you're going to put that in a report of what you're going to be able to give back to the doctor and showing them how much money that they're actually losing currently, just that alone. So you're going to learn how to do all of that in this training workshop, and then you're going to learn how to work as a team. Some of you might come to the training with a partner, but if you come by yourself, you're literally going to be partnered up with somebody else so that you'll be able to know how to work this if you're actually going to take this back and work with a partner, or as we're going to show you here in a little bit, you may be wanting to hire some sales reps. So you're going to learn exactly what to do during this week. And again, as Adam says, we're positioning you out there to be that subject matter expert.
Yeah, the training is everything from A to Z. Believe it or not, even though the training is only 5 days, by the end of the first day, we have everyone in the class filing medical claims by the end of day one, believe it or not. We can't teach you everything there is to learn about this industry in 5 days. No way. But what we do offer is enough to get you comfortable with the system from a technical standpoint, and then by the end of the class on Friday, you've learned all about our marketing methods and how we're going to actually handhold you every step of the way until you get that first client and beyond. We actually provide you with lifetime support. And the other thing you can do is after you go through our 5-day class, all of the subject matter of the class is also recorded online on our private support website. So everything that you need more help on, you can always go back for the life of your business and review all the different marketing materials, training on those, technical training, anything that you need. We've got hundreds and hundreds of hours of training on our website that you can go through once you go through the live class. So you're never going to forget anything. You're always able to go back.
That's correct. Adam, before we get too much further along the way here, I'm checking over here with a couple of the questions here, and there's a couple of questions I do want to go ahead and address this. Alice, you said you're asking, can you watch this after this particular webinar? We are recording this webinar, so if you'd like to, we'll get you a copy of this. It'll probably be ready tomorrow. But this is a webinar that you'll be able to share with your friends, maybe with a business partner, maybe someone who's going to be your funding partner. You can absolutely share this here a little bit. Holly, you were asking about to schedule a demo time for yourself. Absolutely. If you'll get with your business coach, they'll be happy to schedule a demo with you and get that. Couple more, Alice. We do not have the training in California. It is here in Texas. So just like everybody else has to do, they just fly in, and again, we'll talk about that. And then Tomas, about the doctors getting paid, you mentioned if the doctors receive payments directly from the insurance company, how do I know the amount that I should invoice? Adam, you want to take that one, answer that one real quickly?
Yeah, that's a great question. Everything is tracked online in the iClaim billing platform that we have. So you're going to be sending the information initially to the insurance company, so you see everything there. You also get direct feedback from the insurance company on what was paid and what wasn't paid, what the patient owes, so on and so forth. And it has a fully robust reporting system so that you can pull up a report very easily and see the net receipts for the doctor for any given date range. So when you invoice the doctor for your services, you know exactly what you're owed. And the same goes for the doctors. They have access to that reporting as well online. So anytime they want to, they can go and log in and see exactly where their money is at. And there's no question as to who is owed what. It's very clear.
Perfect. All right, we're going to go on to the next topic, and again, for those that may have to leave a little earlier, remember that we are recording this, and you'll be able to get a copy of it soon. The next thing we're going to talk to you about is this whole business about business networking, and you're going to probably find that this will be the most interesting part of the webinar, because this is where I would probably consider to say, Adam, the majority of our licensees actually get their first client is because of the business networking that they actually do. How do they learn that? They learn that through our training class, but Adam, let's talk a little bit about how business networking works and basically what they're going to learn.
Yeah, this is the #1 method that, every licensee that we do an interview with, almost every one of them says, yeah, I got my first client through networking. Well, what is networking? I mean, a lot of you may be somewhat familiar with going to these different, what they're called business network, like a breakfast or a luncheon or something like that, where you've got different people from different industries that are kind of meeting together. And a lot of the times it's difficult to network properly because you don't really know why you're there. You don't really know how to tell people what you're doing, when, what this business is all about. And that's what we help you with. We focus very heavily on telling you exactly how this method works, the best places to go and network. In other words, we show you how to join different organizations and different groups. Some are in healthcare, some are just outside of healthcare. Some are they allow all different types of industries at the networking events. And you're not going to these events looking for doctors, typically.
Right.
You are going to these events looking for people who possibly work with doctors themselves, but they're in other industries, CPAs, attorneys, IT companies, real estate people. These are all really good, what we call power partners or strategic partners. These are people that we show you how to build relationships with, so that, maybe if you build a relationship with someone who's in real estate, maybe they're selling some property or a house to a doctor client of theirs, and they just happen to mention that, I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford this, my biller quit, and, I don't know what I'm going to do. Bing, a light bulb goes off, and that real estate person goes, hey, I remember I talked to so-and-so, they said they do billing. So they put you in touch with the doctor, and you guys to go do lunch or coffee or something. That's exactly how it works, and that works all the time. We hear about people getting clients that way.
We all know that we kind of tend to lean towards people that we know, and if we've got a friend or a colleague of ours that refers us to someone, it's just kind of like, when we find out that, Adam, if you're dealing with a certain insurance guy, and you come up to me and say, hey, Eric, I just got an incredible deal on insurance. You probably want to take a look at them. That's what a referral is, and that's what these networking things do. So we all like to kind of shortcut our way through life. If someone knows someone else and they can introduce me, the doctor is more likely to schedule an appointment with you. Folks, this is how you get around that gatekeeper. This is what we're talking about here. This has been strategically worked. We know how it works in this industry. We know how the quickest way to get you to that doctor. We explain this in a lot of detail in our training class. You can even talk with other licensees who have used this particular way of gaining clients. So hopefully you can see here, it's not so much about you going out and, like Adam said, going to try to find a doctor. Find yourself in a natural state, talking to your banker, your CPA, attorneys, anybody that you might know, letting them know that you're getting involved in this. You're going to find out that they may not know anybody right then, but as Adam said, they may be with a doctor and go, I know somebody. I their card. Let me get them. You mind if I get you their contact? What is the doctor going to say? No, I don't want to hear from them. Obviously, this is one of the biggest ways to get that. The other way is working with sales reps, and we kind of titled this "How to Leverage Sales Reps." Adam, I know that when we talk about sales reps, I think a lot of people automatically think, well, how am I going to pay sales reps and do all these things with sales reps? I've never managed a sales rep before. I like this word, how we're leveraging, how that a licensee is going to leverage the sales rep, because these sales reps are probably people that are already working with doctors already.
Yeah, a lot of times they are, and you can use that to your advantage. And a lot of licensees use our sales rep program in conjunction with a lot of the methods that we teach that they put into place themselves. So you just get your name out there that much faster. You know, obviously, the more people you have out there talking about your business and what you do. But what we've got set up is a complete sales rep program where we show you exactly where to go online to find people who are looking for this specific type of sales position or marketing position. So there's several different resources that we show you online, like medreps.com, for example, upwork.com. These are places where you can find people who are already selling things in the medical industry. Like there are people who are selling medical devices and different things like that, who it's not a conflict of interest for them to offer other things as well. So we can show you how to find these people. We can show you how to interview them, figure out if they're going to be a good fit for your company. We can help with commission structures, work contracts, agreements between you and them, everything. We have the entire program laid out for you.
And I tell you what's so great about these websites and some of these places that we're talking about. Again, you may just run across a sales rep who may just say, you know what, I don't mind referring a doctor to you. I mean, I see a lot of doctors, and I know what they're struggling about. Maybe my contract won't allow me to sell for you, but I can refer you to them. And so that's why we're saying you can leverage sales reps. You can either hire them, as we're going to show you how to find them, how to interview them, how to hire them, how to train them, how to pay them. So if you want to work with a sales rep, you can do that. Or you could learn how to work with sales reps, and then they're working with you, you're working with them. You may end up finding a doctor that you're doing some billing for, and then you remember the sales rep that you worked with once before, their product your doctor might need. So it is really, again, it kind of gets to that whole business networking part of what you're doing there. But you can certainly leverage working with sales reps. And Adam says we've got a full training program about that here. I'd like for us, we're coming at the bottom of the hour. We're a little past that. We're kind of coming right to the heart of what happens when you're actually in front of a doctor and the importance of a practice analysis. Adam, you take a little bit of time to explain what a practice analysis is and how strategic this part of the whole marketing campaign is.
Yeah, this goes back to what we were saying in the very beginning. This is where it all begins. So you're gonna tell an office manager or a doctor, look, before we talk about any services or fees or anything like that, I'd like to do a free consultation with you. It takes about 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes. It's a series of questions that you ask the office. Usually you're dealing with the office manager in the beginning.
Right.
And what we do is we teach you how to do this analysis, and it's a series of, I think, 25 questions, somewhere around there, and they're printed out for you, so you just need to read off the questions that we give you. And they will give you answers and information back related to their practice. And it's just all kinds of different questions, asking them about their current rejection rate, how long it's taking to get paid, what type of technology are they using. There's other questions that you can throw in to make them think about other things outside of billing, that you have solutions for, like, do you have a HIPAA compliancy manager? That usually gets them really scared when you ask that, because we have a service that can help them with HIPAA compliancy. Almost every practice out there thinks they're compliant when they're really, if you take a look at it, they're really not. So we have a service for that as well. So basically, yeah, so there's the questions right there. How many claims you do a month? What are you currently spending on billing? And what you can do is you take these answers that they give you, and what we do is we actually give you a cost analyzing tool, which is basically a real fancy spreadsheet.
Right.
You put the information into this, and it will actually print out a report that you can take back to the office manager on your next visit And you can say, okay, look, based on the information that you've given me, I've actually identified some trouble spots here. And it actually, it has it line by line where, you can say, look, you guys are currently doing this, and if you, were to outsource some of these things to me, you would be paying this. And it just clearly shows, and honestly, 9 times out of 10, Eric, I would say, whenever they do this analysis for a private practice, it does make more sense for a doctor financially to outsource some of the stuff that they're trying to manage in their office. So that's what this is all about, is educating the doctors, because a lot of them don't realize all the cost involved in trying to do it in-house. They don't realize how expensive it can be. And so that's what this practice analysis is all about.
You nailed it. And again, folks, if you can let this sink in just a little bit, this is like a 1-2 punch that we're about to show you here. Because let's just say that through some business networking that you were able to do, whether you got a lead or an invitation to see a doctor from an attorney or a CPA or a banker, or like Adam says, it could be from someone who's building the doctor's home. However you get it, or you get it through a sales rep. Now you've got the opportunity to sit in front of a doctor or the office manager. The first thing you do, you're going to work this practice analysis. Then you're going to take that analysis, put it in a report. Then the next thing you're going to do, in conjunction with this, you can say to the doctor, part of what I'd like to do as a free analysis is also to show you really how our system can work. Then you've got this, what we call demonstration marketing. Now, folks, this is where we are involved. You can see how this is working right here. On the left-hand side of your screen here, you've got the screen that shows iClaim. In the middle there, that's the little icon for the GoToMeeting. What's happening here is that someone here at ABS is going to work with you on setting up a demonstration of the software directly to the doctors on your behalf. Again, kind of let that sink in here, because now we are involved with your marketing. At this point, we are directly involved with you. This is why a doctor can trust you automatically, because we are going to be answering all of the doctor's questions. And so imagine after this demonstration, usually, Adam, what I hear, other than, wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, I've never seen a system do what you're actually showing me. It is a considerable improvement of the way our current systems are working. Usually the thing that they're asking me at the end of these demos is, well, okay, so what is it going to cost me? That's whenever I tell the licensee, I'll use you, Adam, this is where I would say, Adam, I'll hand this back off to you because I believe you've done the practice analysis and you have that report, right? Yep, I've got it. So, Doc, I'm going to turn this back over to Adam. He's going to take it from here. He's going to show you the results of your practice analysis. And Adam, what we're hearing back, when the practice analysis is done and the demo is done, we're hearing that it's well over 50% closure rate on getting these doctors signed up.
Yep, it's going really well. And I don't know if you guys picked up on that, but we do those demos on your behalf for free for the life of your business. We will do these demos for you. And by the time the demo is done, like Eric said, we've already helped you put together your proposal and your agreement so that you can hand those over at the end of the demo. So this is a very specific process that we have perfected over the years, and it's working really, really well right now.
Working great. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's keep going on. Here's another thing that we're going to show you about and teach you how to use, and that's how to work trade shows. And some of you may think, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to go do a trade show. Folks, you don't have to do any of these. You can do 1 or 2 of these. Adam, I don't know if you know this, but I'm actually going to help one of our licensees down in Houston the next couple of days with his trade show down in Houston. I'm excited because I'm going to get to help set the booth up, the booth that we've got right here, help get that set up and kind of help them watch and be there to kind of see what's going on. And I'll be able to report on what's going on at these trade shows. Folks, you talk about a great way, instead of you going to the doctors are actually now coming to you, to your booth. Amazing.
Mm-hmm, yep, and there's always some event going on somewhere. And that's the other cool thing about this business. you guys aren't limited to your neighborhood.
Right.
Anywhere in the country that you find out about an event, medical or not, you can go to it and you can be there and you can have a booth and get business. There's no restrictions because this isn't a franchise.
And again, like you see here in the right-hand corner down there, there's a licensee actually talking to a doctor there, showing them the system right there in the booth. So, you know, if you need to, you can always work with another licensee. You can call us there at ABS if you need some help. We'll do whatever we can to help you, even at some of these bigger trade shows, and we'll kind of help walk you through it. But I know, Adam, there's some folks that are just this trade show booth. Let's talk about that real quickly. That's part of what you get here at ABS, I believe. I think your dad has made some changes even on how people can get this trade show booth.
Yeah, we have a really big one that you can see in the pictures, and there's a smaller tabletop size version. The only thing you have to pay is shipping. That's it. So we rent those out to licensees, and the only thing you got to pay is shipping.
Yep. So that's part of what you get here at ABS. You don't have to go build your own trade show booth. And then for those that have actually partnered with some of your, let's say, sales reps or some of your networking business network teams, you can actually hold what's called some lunch and learns. Again, this is a great way for you to do the type of information you need to do to become that subject matter expert. It can, you know, a lot of doctors may only have 30 or 40 minutes anyway, so you might as well get a group of them, serve lunch. We've got all the presentations. As I kind of flip through this, you'll see actually on the screenshot there, these are some of the slides that you actually can use in a PowerPoint presentation. And whether you want to make the presentation or your power partner or even a medical group staff, it doesn't matter. As long as you're kind of being the host there, this could be an incredible way for you to, once again, get the attention of the doctors, kind of get past that gatekeeper. And again, I think Cynthia Anderson, who is the trainer for ABS to do it, I think she just was here in Dallas a couple of weeks ago helping a licensee do a lunch and learn, Adam.
Yeah, if done properly, these are very, very effective. And I promise you, if you provide lunch, they will show up to learn. We figured that out. Office managers love free lunches.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Listen, candy, lunches, anything like that, bring food and you've got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's keep going here. Let's talk about some educational marketing. And Adam, I know that your dad has come up with some a new book that we see over on the right-hand side. But why don't you kind of talk about how each one of these has a very specific, method of getting this information to the doctors?
Yeah, this is another benefit, guys, for our licensees. We have these 3 books. They were all written or co-written by our founder, Patrick Phillips, or also Vicki Rackner, a retired surgeon who has been on a couple of webinars for us as well. There are different ways to market using these books, and we actually show you in training how to highlight and call out certain pages and certain chapters so that doctors can very quickly kind of just flip through the book and they don't have to read the whole thing cover to cover. But it hits on the most important parts, which is they have to be more aware of their revenue cycle. They have to really take a look at how much it's costing them to do different things that they're doing, like billing, for example, and pay attention to making sure that they're doing it as efficiently as possible. That's what these books are all about. And the one on the left there is actually really cool because we have worked out a deal with Dr. Rackner where you actually have your name printed on the front. We have a foreword that has been written already for you, but we put your name on the book as if you wrote the foreword. So we are all about building your credibility, and if your name is on a book, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty credible, right?
Yeah, that's a great way.
So that's just, I mean, these books right here have really been helping people build their credibility and feel more confident when they're going out and talking with doctors and office managers.
Exactly. This book here, the one how physicians can get more patients, you'll actually get that one once you become a licensee. The one that's in the middle, Cash Crunch to Cash Flow, that one's actually available right now on Amazon.com. You can go out and purchase that book, read it. It's a great book. If you're really wanting to learn about whether you want to get in this business or not, you really ought to read that book. The New Thriving Medical Practice, that one will actually be ready for purchase on Amazon. Should be in the next couple of weeks. It's going through its last final edits, and so you'll be able to see that one on Amazon. So, but the two that are center and to the right, you can get on Amazon. The only way you can get the one on the left is when you become a licensee. So, just want to let you make sure you knew about that. And then, Adam, I know that we do talk about direct mail marketing, but it's not just what people think. Well, let me just blow out a whole bunch of direct mail out there. This is work in conjunction with one of the services, which is the gosh, I can't remember what it's called right off the bat, but it's
AutoCard.
Thank you. Wow, brain's going dead at the end of the day. AutoCard. Why don't you explain a little bit? Obviously, you need to explain a little bit more about it than I can right now. Go ahead.
Sure. So we actually have some automated, what we call automated drip marketing tools for our licensees, and one of them is called AutoCard. So a lot of people try to, there's a lot of people that try to do this type of business on their own. They go buy their own software, they take a course on billing, and then they come up with marketing materials on their home computer that they think are really nice and they're really not. And a lot of times they'll come up with a postcard and they'll just buy some random list somewhere and send out 200 or 300 postcards and not get any response at all, and never do that method again because it doesn't work. So we have a much better way of doing that. First of all, what you want to do is you want to, as you're out there talking with office managers and doctors using some of the other methods that we teach, like networking and trade shows, for example, you want to get those people into the automated drip marketing campaigns that we have. That's really the way to get a good response on direct mail. So in other words, what you do is, all you have to do is, this is a web-based system, by the way. You just put a person's name and address, like a doctor, office manager, whatever, in the system and click a button, and we already have a campaign set up that you can use that sends information to them every couple of months, every month. You can actually specify how much you want it to go out, how fast you want it to go out. But they're getting all these different postcards that you see here, and there's other ones as well, just to remind them who you are, what you do, and how to stay top of mind in their mind. So that's what we mean when we say proper direct mail, is to just, you want to be able to just set it and forget it. You don't want to have to remember to try to stay in touch with these people. It's just staying in touch with them automatically without you having to think about it.
We actually tested that. Part of one of the research and development deals that we actually did. Your dad and I visited a doctor here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we did meet with him because we wanted to make sure that obviously what we do works. At the time, the doctor didn't need any of our services that we had, so what we did, we automatically put him on this drip campaign. And about 3 months later, I get a call in saying, the doctor wants to meet with you and Patrick. When can y'all meet? And I thought, well, that's pretty incredible. So it does work, folks. So we've seen it in action. We actually did it. We did it the way that we teach in the training class. And that's what's incredible, that it does work and it will work for you. But it's not like Adam says. It's just, you're not just blowing it all out there to everybody all at one time. Adam, this is certainly one I want you to talk about because you certainly you kind of know what's going on in the social media world. You kind of run that part behind the scenes here at ABS. Talk about the importance of a brand new licensee kind of getting all of their information out there on social media.
Yeah, well, I think for some it's not as important as other methods, but it is, obviously everyone these days needs to have a presence, a social media presence. So, we talk about different ways to get all that set up. And there are different tools that we have where you can more easily share information. And that's kind of really what it boils down to. You know, if you create a Twitter page or a Facebook page or YouTube or whatever for your business, which is recommended, you want to provide valuable content. You don't want to just talk about me, and what you can do. And if you've noticed, if you guys have looked at the ABS Twitter feed at all, we're constantly sharing helpful information on different sales techniques, marketing techniques, you know, healthcare industry news, you know, so that you can stay up to date on things. It's all just free information that I'm sharing, you know, with people so that they can learn more about the business and the industry and that sort of thing. So it's all about, again, it kind of goes back to being perceived as someone who is willing to help no matter what. You know, whether or not we do business, I'm going to give you this free information, and hopefully it can help you in some way. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to help drive your website and drive people to your website, obviously, for those that know the industry about social media, obviously the more connects that you have on the internet, the more hits you're going to get on your website, and you may just end up getting a doctor running across an article that you posted or retweeted out there or whatever, and all of a sudden they land on your web page and they're going, wow, those folks are near me. I want to talk with them. That's how it all works, so obviously. And folks, everything that we show here on this particular page is that we're trying to develop who you are. We know a lot of you are coming into this business right now. A lot of you on the webinar today, you may not have a marketing background. That's okay. What we're more concerned about are people that actually have a marketing background, because they already have a way of what they think they know what to do to go get doctors. Those are the folks that we have to kind of rework and refocus their attention on how to do things. So we would rather have you come into this business really not having too much of a marketing background in the first place, because literally we can take you from whatever background that you're in or from. We're going to help you get to where you want to be, no doubt.
Yeah, and you'll notice, I mean, I don't know if you'll notice, but all the successful licensees that we have, they all come from different backgrounds. Mm-hmm. You know, there are people who were stay-at-home moms. There were people who came from the corporate world who got, you know, downsized or just got tired of it and wanted to start their own business. Previous franchise owners, all different walks of life have been able to be successful at this as long as they just follow the steps that we lay out for them. And that's what we do. We give you an exact step-by-step plan for when you graduate our training class that's going to tell you exactly what to do when you get back home. There's going to be no question of, well, what do I do now? It's going to show you exactly what to do. And
exactly.
Yeah, those are the people that are successful, the ones that just follow the steps.
And it all works because it's about our support. We've got support, literally, like Adam said. It's a lifetime of support. And the way I like to kind of describe it, it's like two big buckets of support. One is the first thing that we've been talking to you about the whole webinar, marketing. We have all the marketing support that you're going to be able to need. The demos that we can do for you, the help with proposals, the help with filling out that report, the practice analysis, making sure you have all the amount of information there. Everything you need support on helping you get that first doctor, that's part of it. Once you've got that doctor, then here comes the real work. You're going to need to know how to do all the rest of it, the billing side of it. You're going to need support on those areas. So you've got a lifetime of support, both, again, on the front end, and once you have a doctor on the back end, and that is for a lifetime. As long as you need it, we're there. Adam, we know that some people, once they get their first doctor, the only support that they have from us at that point is asking us just to do more demos for them.
Yep, and our support is free. I don't know if you guys picked up on that, but you never pay us anything for support for life, because we actually do make a little bit of residual from some of our software partners that we have whenever you guys sign up clients. So that's why we're doing whatever we can to help you get clients. Because whenever you're signing up clients and making money, we're making a little bit of money on that too, and everybody wins.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And the other part of it we want to do is try to help take the fear out to whether you're figuring out if this is the right business for you in the first place. I know that you've looked at probably a lot of business opportunities, a lot of franchises. You know that once you've laid that credit card down or you've put in your money there, there's really not an opportunity for you to kind of be able to test it, try it out, and see if it's going to work for you. We do have that, and Patrick wants that for you to know about that. I'm going to come to the next screen here, and so that we have a clear understanding, and you have a clear understanding what the 100% money back guarantee is. Adam, why don't you go ahead and take it from here, and then I'll prepare as we kind of wrap up, and I'll get some questions lined up for us to take on here at the end.
Sure. So we allow people to go through our entire training class, the Monday through Friday class, and learn everything there is to learn about the business and how we're going to help you get clients. And at the end of the class, if there's anything that doesn't make sense to you and you just don't feel like it's going to be a good fit, you can ask for your money back, and we will give you 100% of your money back, and that's in writing in our agreement. That's how much we believe in the quality of the training.